In this video, I will be tackling difficult subjects such as harmful diet advice that may cause those with eating disorder or eating disorder related triggers to spiral and try to emulate what I've talked about in this video. While I will not be going over any direct disorder videos or images or anything like that, the advice that is present throughout this video may potentially promote a cycle of binging and starvation and or extreme calorie deprivation. So if that sounds like something that would trigger you and cause you to spiral, I would advise against this video, although maybe you will enjoy some of my other content. In the day of TikTok taking center stage when it comes to bad fitness information on social media, one social media platform has since flown under the radar, and I never see anybody criticizing the fitness information on there. I'm going to be going over a couple of posts I got just after 5 minutes of scrolling and explore the bad nature of the information and why it could be harmful. And I'm going to list these off in a couple different types of categories, going in ascending order, the least harmful to the most harmful. But before we get into all that, I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. I'm Chimera Fitness. I make optimal training entertaining and enjoyable and easy to understand for everybody. I give very practical advice and just try to help everybody make the same transformations I've gone through since I've been both skinny fat, and then I say I've built a pretty good physique. Category 1 is going to be just kind of bad information. Like, it's not going to be harmful, but for the most part, just useless information. But the reason it's still on the video is because it does pollute the pool of information and makes people focus on the wrong things. If you look up weight loss on Pinterest, immediately you are greeted with a ton of crash diets and detox teas, which we'll get to in a second. I found a couple of posts that just talk about bad diet advice, such as like 15 fat burning foods for weight loss. 10 foods that burn belly fat. If you eat these foods, you will literally be fat forever. Once I stopped eating this one food, I was literally able to fillet the fat off my fucking body like a goddamn chicken. As we know, there really are no special foods to lose weight. Sure, there are foods that are better for you. There are foods that are lower calorie dense, and sure, there are foods that are technically healthier than others. However, there are no magic foods that make you lose weight. This line of thinking really does pollute the fitness information landscape. Say I go to this post right here that tells me to eat bananas every day, but then I go to this other post that says the top 10 foods you need to stop eating to lose weight, and it tells me that bananas are literally going to castrate me and then make me fat. You see how this is a problem? But for the most part, it's not going to hurt you. It's more just going to make it harder for the average person to do any research of their own and get in shape. Another thing that goes into this category is the lack of mentioning calories. And I mean, calories in, calories out is pretty much the only way to go. Every diet you've ever seen kind of just helps you get this negative calorie balance. I'm going to harp on this again, but if anyone tells you that calories don't matter, they're fucking wrong. That's all for category 1. Let's move on to category 2, potentially harmful advice. Now, I mentioned detox teas a second ago, and that's because they're fucking everywhere on Pinterest. If you look up weight loss or diet, detox teas and shit like that, or magic weight loss drinks are literally more than half of the results. And it's infuriating because they don't fucking do anything. Listen, it bugs me so much that all I can see is detox teas. But by scrolling down for more than 5 minutes, I genuinely couldn't find one mention of calories. That is insane. It's like they just pretend calories don't exist. Like, it's crazy. Now, detox teas may cause weight loss. However, it is temporary due to the fact that these are just diuretics. All they do is they just make you piss a ton and drain a lot of your water weight, and they do not burn fat. These can be considered harmful, though, if they are used in excess. Now, I wonder who would consume these things in excess. Maybe someone who's trying to lose weight, someone who looked up weight loss on Pinterest. There's a small percentage of people that may have an underlying health condition that may make this detox tea for sure dangerous. However, the main reason I'm putting it on here is because the category of people who are looking it up are the exact type who would, drink a lot of them and run into potential health issues. Now, what side effects do these diuretics possibly have? Of course, there's upset stomach and nausea, stuff like that. However, the most extreme side effects are dehydration and malnutrition because you are pissing out all of your vitamins. Ironically, these detox teas made of superfoods may actually lead you to have nutrient deficiencies, which is kind of hilarious. Now, let's move on to category 3, which I'm sure is what most of you came here for. But before we do that, I do want to ask you guys to please subscribe. I've been putting in a lot of effort into these videos, and I actually am really enjoying this one. Once again, I'm sorry for not getting out a video last week. I'm trying to be more consistent with my upload schedule. Here are the comments of the week, by the way. Thank you so much to these people for commenting. Make sure you comment this week so that you have a chance to appear in next week's video. Also, if you could like the video, that would really help me with the algorithm and help me, get everything on point. Thank you so much for the engagement, and thank you in advance for helping me with the algorithm. Back to the video. Part 3, dangerous. So disorders come in a couple different varieties, in my opinion. Now, this isn't an exact science, but based on what I've seen and personal experience, this is the kind of disorders that people tend to have. There are 2 types. Number 1 is you have a disorder and you pretty much know it. People can get a disorder and they'll know they have a problem, but like, you know, they still can't stop because, you know, it's a disorder. But then the second category of people are those who end up with an eating disorder pretty much just because they don't really know what they're doing. It's kind of like an accidental disorder. Personally, I'll go into this like in a different video, but I have personally had experiences like this before. Pinterest is the king of breeding unintentional eating disorders. The information on here is so wild that like I can see a lot of people developing eating disorders because of the platform purely if they follow the advice, and I'll explain a little bit more why here in a second. A good example is all the crash diets on the platform. This mainly comes from all of the diet plans on the platform. One of the first results I saw was the cabbage soup diet. This diet advises that on the first day of the diet you eat nothing but fruits and cabbage soup, and I'm gonna be honest, the other days are also just as little food. And the diet advertises you losing 10 pounds in 7 days. People may lose 10 pounds in 7 days. That's not that hard, actually. However, most of this is going to be water retention. Losing 10 pounds of fat in 7 days is virtually impossible if you're eating any food at all. Here, I'll break down why anything that advertises you losing a ton of fat in a week is bullshit. So an average pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. Now, the average person's maintenance is anywhere from 1,800 to 3,000 calories a day. For you to eat in a deficit enough to lose 10 pounds a week, you have to not only eat nothing for the day, putting you at an 1,800 to 3,000 calorie deficit, but now you also have to work out far more than that and burn way more than that to even have a shot at losing 10 pounds of body fat. Now we know that the pounds are not body fat. However, they are water retention. People may lose a lot of water if they do this diet. So this is a hard diet. Like, this is a very, very calorie deprived diet. By the end of these 7 days, you would probably be going insane. You'd want to eat everything in sight. And guess what? You're still not even losing 10 pounds of body fat. What's happening here is now you are ravenous. You want to eat everything in sight. You have just mentally drained yourself so bad. You finally are like, okay, but at least I lost 10 pounds and I'm at my goal weight. You start eating normally again, maybe even above normally, because the entire time you were on the diet, you were like, oh my God, I cannot wait to eat anything but cabbage soup. I'm gonna have 6 caniac combos the very first day of breaking this diet, right? So before you were eating no food, now you're eating a ton of food, and guess what happens? Your water retention will bump back up. Now you gained all the weight back and you're like, oh my God, well, I'm back to being fat again. You know what? I'm just going to run the diet again, thus creating a cycle of extreme calorie deprivation and extreme calorie overeating, therefore creating a binge eating disorder kind of cycle. And this is just one example of terrible diets. Remember how I said I couldn't find calories at all on Pinterest? Well, now I wish I never did, because the only mention of calories I found is very, very harmful advice. Now, this meal plan right here is a 28-day keto meal plan. Out of these 7 days of this diet, the maximum amount of calories a person consumes in 1 day is 720 calories. The lowest amount that a person will consume is 488 calories. For reference, kind of how I said earlier, the average person burns 1,800 to 3,000 calories a day. This is a huge deficit. For reference, if I was to eat 720 calories, I couldn't even hit my daily protein goal if all I had was protein. I can't even begin to tell you about how bad this level of crash dieting is for you. The fastest rate of weight loss that's still safe for the most part is about 1 to 2% of their body weight per week. So let's do a little calculation here. We're going to use a person with a 2,000 calorie maintenance as the example. This person on the worst day will be in a 1,500 calorie deficit, therefore leading to them losing about 4% of their body weight per week. More than double the healthy range. But also, a little fun calculation. You guys want to know how many calories in total this person consumes on a weekly basis on this diet? 2,900 calories. That's less than my maintenance right now. My maintenance right now is 3,000 calories. That is less than my maintenance. And you're supposed to do this for 28 days? 4 whole weeks? Are you on crack? What the fuck? I doubt anybody can actually make it to the 28 days because of the extreme nature of this diet. But say you did, I'm just going to say it. You genuinely might just end up with eating disorder. Like, the level of binge that you would have at the end of that is insane. You'd probably balloon back up into weight. Do you know why? Because while they do tell you how many calories are in each meal and each day, they don't tell you how many calories you should be getting in on a daily basis. Therefore, if the person goes like, oh, I don't even fucking know what these numbers mean, right? All I know is they look kind of low. And then afterwards, they go back to eating how they were. They're just going to gain the weight back. And then once again, go in this crazy binge and deprivation cycle. Like, dude, and I'm taking a pretty low maintenance. 2,000 calories is honestly pretty low. Like, most people will cut on 2,000 calories, especially if you're heavy enough that you want to lose weight. You probably have a higher metabolism than that. 2,000 calorie maintenance is what like somebody who weighs 140 pounds would have. Now, this expands to even more diets again, such as the soup diet and the famous 3-day military diet. Now I've laid out why the information on Pinterest is bad, so hopefully this leads to more criticism of the information on their platform. Hopefully we can police the information a little bit more and put out more quality information there. For that reason, I do ask that you please share the video. Now, I'm not gonna lie, sharing the video will help me a lot with the algorithm and stuff like that. But also, I believe that the more people who are aware of why the information on Pinterest is bad or what information on Pinterest is bad, the more people will be better off. So I would really appreciate you sharing the video. And if you want to know what I think about other diets, check out this video I did on the keto diet a while back. Thanks for watching. Adios.